None of this conversation should be taken as medical advice for you. Before starting or changing any medical or wellness treatment, always consult your GP and medical care team.
It is Monday today when we're recording this, Belinda.
Thank God it's not Thursday, Paddy.
Thank God it's not Thursday for many reasons.
Feels a little bit like a Thursday.
I feel like I have whiplash.
So many things been thrown at you.
Oh my God, talk about juggling. It's I wouldn't even know.
Full-time job.
Oh God, I tell you. Anyway.
I will say though that social media and the podcast and replying to hundreds of comments a day is slightly turning into a full-time job.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
you
mental.
Have to love it.
Yeah, it is mad. So it is the amount of engagement that we're getting.
Overall.
And like some of the most common questions. I know you get these as well. But like, first of all, people looking for medical advice. You need to talk to your doctor or your prescriber, whichever, depending on where you're listening from and how you're accessing medication. You need to talk to your doctor or your prescriber. Anything to do with your dose, changing it, side effects, all that. We can share our experience. Of what we have or have not had, but everybody's biology is different. Belinda, you have just hit 20,000 followers on Instagram.
I did, and I found out by accident.
How did you find out by accident?
I wasn't even watching. I wasn't even looking. I didn't know what was going on. And I pressed into my, to have a look at my engagement and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, 20,000. How long's that been there?
I never look at my following. Like it's
I don't
not,
generally.
Yeah. I actually never even look at my engagement because
my little fella Jay is more concerned about my followers because he thinks I'm a superstar. Like, he doesn't even know what I talk about.
Which you are, obviously. You are.
He thinks I'm great. Yeah.
Do you know? The same with my cat does.
Yes.
Because I feed her.
Cat. Yeah. Obviously.
Beetlejuice. That's my cat's name. In case you didn't know that, my cat's name is Beetlejuice. And
you have a cushion with Beetlejuice.
I do. Yeah. That's in the cat's corner.
Yeah.
So the cat's corner is where our blanket is.
Isn't that a song, Paddy?
Cat's corner?
No.
What?
Cat's
corners. That's a different song. Yeah, that's different. Yeah. The cat's corner.
No, don't. No. We do not have the headspace for new music.
I'm not at 20,000. I'm at 2,477.
Who?
But
how many?
2,477
on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop. Give over.
Why did you think I'd more?
I thought you were up like 8,000-9,000
on Instagram. No, on TikTok. Yeah, not on Instagram.
Paddy, I just seen the picture you put up of yourself. Look at you. No, not that one. The one before it. Hang on. You're like some kind of skinny millink. In your thingy this morning, was it?
In the lift, yeah.
Jesus, well done.
Yeah, thank you.
People must be like stunned that see you in real life.
I've met some people recently that I haven't seen in a while, and they're just like, oh my god. I'm like, yeah. And again, I know we spoke about this last week when we were talking about body image, but definitely my head, even today and yesterday, like looking in the mirror. All I'm seeing is, there's still fat there or fat there.
Oh, Paddy.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say to you, don't do that. Don't say that. Because what's the point?
Yeah.
You have to be able to...
But equally, I know that is part of the process and getting the head kind of tied in with it and stuff like that. And I know I have lost a significant amount of weight. So I do know that. I do, of course.
You're only pounds away from a 100-pound loss, Paddy. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, like 7, half a stone away.
Well, I'd say you're probably gone over that now. Sorry, you're closer to it now.
Could be, don't know. I can't remember when I weighed last, sometime last week.
And just to catch up on last week as well, if people haven't listened to last week's podcast, we spoke about Paddy coming off of Mounjaro So close to his 100-pound loss.
Yeah.
And just that Paddy is going to have an operation. And in 2 weeks' time, less than 2 weeks' time now.
Thursday week, yeah.
Thursday week, yeah.
So by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be a week from it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's just a really, really interesting podcast as well.
Yeah.
And Paddy, what do you think? When do you think you're going to feel the last dose kick in? The last dose kick out even?
Yeah, I think I would be expecting Thursday next week, the day after surgery, actually. So do you know what? The surgery is probably going to be a good distraction.
I was just going to say, because you're going to be sore and you're going to be going into recovery and you're going to be going home and you're going to be taking care of yourself anyway.
Yeah.
So maybe it will be a nice for a few days anyway.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But there's
you're okay. You'll have your routine down.
Yeah, be grand.
Yeah.
But there's a load more context in last week's episode.
Yes, so please do listen.
Out.
Yeah.
But Belinda, I was looking back over some of my old videos. So basically, bigger picture here. Okay. So like the last 7 months, zoom out. The last 7 months, obviously, my journey has been very focused on my treatment and stuff like that. As we touched on kind of last week, the week before, I guess, at least myself, and you're kind of in a similar space of kind of starting to think about, okay, what might maintenance look like for us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking like to the future a lot more now. So this is also where kind of thinking about the whole kind of rebranding maybe and stuff like this as well. So that's kind of stuff that's on my mind at the moment. So we'll see where that goes.
Pivoting. We're going to pivot.
Yeah, we'll see. I need to kind of see what makes sense. For something that's
I think certainly for me, because Ozempic Insights has been around now for 2.5 years, and I think by the time it comes to 2.5 years, I'll have, touch wood, reached my goal of 103 pound loss. The 3 pound is only so I can go up and down 3 pounds at any given time. But yeah, I think I'll just move forward with that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know that's one of the things. But anyway, when I was looking over the videos, one of the things that one of the videos that I rewatched that I hadn't rewatched in an awful long time was about food noise. And it's still something that I get asked a lot about and trying to describe and stuff like that. And it's very difficult to try and describe. So I would love to know from you, how would you describe food noise?
Well, the first thing I'll say about food noise is I never knew I had it. I had never heard the term food noise. I thought every single person in the world was like me. And I thought when I was dieting and I had food noise, that's the way every other person felt. So the only way I can describe it, and I have described it in some of my videos over the years that I've been on this, was just, God, it's really hard to talk about.
It
Paddy,
is. It's a difficult one to explain. It's really hard to
talk about, yeah. So without getting too much into it, so the start of my day would have been waking up in the morning. Now, keep in mind that I'm in the throes of dieting at this stage, and I am riddled with anxiety about my food choices, about people seeing me eat, about trying to eat in private, about maybe binging, about hiding food, eating in secret. Yeah. That's what I was doing while I was in a diet phase, and I was in a diet and out of diet phases my whole life. So my first thing in the morning, when my eyes would open, even before my eyes would open, I would think to myself, what can I eat this morning for my breakfast that is not going to make me hate myself, not going to make me make bad choices for the rest of the day? What am I going to eat that doesn't have a lot of sins in it or points in it? And then that's when my anxiety would start before I even put my socks on or put my glasses on. My anxiety around that would start. And I would carry that anxiety in my stomach and in my brain all day long. It never fucking stopped for 30 goddamn fucking years. It didn't stop, Paddy. It didn't stop. And it was only when I injected my first injection and 2 days later that I thought to myself, what the actual fuck is going on here? Like, I even thinking back when I realised that it was gone, it gives me the shivers to think of all of that, every single bit of that stress, strain, anxiety, turmoil being gone from just one fucking medication. And I know that there are millions of people in this world out there walking around with that in their head and in their stomach morning, noon and night, because it affects your mental health, it affects your well-being, it affects you socially, it affects every aspect of your life. It really does. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, like for me, it's very similar in terms of, I thought this was normal. Like I thought...
Well, you thought you were the same as everybody else.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like I'd sit there and watch people eat their dinner and leave some, and I'd be like, how are you leaving? How are you leaving food? Like, how do you have that willpower? Or like, I'd be constantly snacking throughout the day, and other people are like, no, I'm full, or I'm okay, I'm not hungry.
I'm
like,
grand, yeah.
I'm like,
I didn't know what that meant.
What do you mean? There's food there. Do you not like just see the food essentially and get this signal from your body that, oh, there's chocolate. Oh, go get that. Oh, food. Yeah. And I like, this is the way I always describe it for me is, it was like a 24/7 radio playing in the back of my head, constantly spurting out thoughts of food and driving me to food, and just constantly having to give in to food, you know? Like, it was just mad.
And every single emotional reaction that I would have to anything, it would turn me to food. Yep.
So let's try and recreate it for people. Now, I know we've kind of both covered this in different videos online as well. But so what I want you to do, Belinda, is you're going to count to 15, okay? And I'll try and be the food noise as you're doing that. So, and if you're listening, this genuinely, in my head at least, is what food noise was like. That no matter what I was trying to concentrate on, no matter what conversation I was having, no matter what was going on, everything, absolutely everything, was shrouded with this constant chatter about food in my head. Everything. Every single minute of every day. So, okay. So, Belinda, get you to count to 15 in 3, 2, 1, go. What's in the kitchen? Have you got food there? No, I need you to count out loud, Belinda.
Oh, sorry.
So that people can see.
Bit the SMR.
No, proper loud, like 15, like as in countdown.
Wait, go. 1, 2.
Food. Do you want food?
3.
Do you want food?
4.
What's in the kitchen?
5,
what am I going to have for dinner?
6.
Oh, I wonder, is that
7,
packet of crisps still
8,
there? Is there a yogurt
9,
there as well?
10,
I didn't
11,
finish yesterday's dinner.
12,
what am I going to have for tomorrow's
13,
dinner?
14.
Maybe for breakfast as well. I'll have some chocolate.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
That's
yeah.
We got there in the end.
Oh God, I don't fucking miss that, Paddy.
Like, it's actually, it's just, I was listening as well over the weekend. I don't know if you had a chance yet. There are 2 of the latest podcasts from Oprah.
Yeah.
So I know there's some snippets off it going kind of viral where they're talking about the treatments.
Follow on, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, kind of a follow on to the TV show from last year, and the first one is kind of catching up with people and checking in and talking more like about psychology stuff, and they have an endocrinologist there and they're talking more about the GLP1s and that. And then the second one is a really interesting topic about how people treat you different when you have lost weight.
Oh, of course.
And one of Oprah's producers is there who talks exactly to this and like gives some examples of how.
Listened to the second one. Is that what the second one's about?
This is the second one. Yeah, he's on there and he's talking about how versus when he was whatever 70, 80 pounds or whatever it is heavier than he is now, versus now, how even little things like waiting in a queue in a hotel, people will now make small talk with him or something like that, whereas before they wouldn't, or bits and pieces like that.
And there is there is a school of thought around that as well, Paddy, where people would say to you, but if you're heavier, aren't you more resistant to speaking to people or to putting yourself out there? Or you're giving off the vibe that you don't want anyone to talk to you. You want to go into the wall or the ground to open up and swallow you.
Yeah.
And also, I find as well that having lost some weight, that I am so much more confident. Mm-hmm. And the way I stand, the way I hold myself, the way I present myself, there's all that as well. But that doesn't take away from the fact that people equate thinness with
attractiveness and
and,
beauty and
yeah, of course,
all that stuff that we've talked.
Yeah.
And that point though is really, really true, because this is something he talks about as well, in terms of when he had a heavier weight, that absolutely he would have had more walls up around him to kind of stop engagement with people. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But like this idea of food noise, like I know when I started my treatment back those first few...
So are you going to talk about how you knew you had when it stopped? Yeah,
because like it was like literally the first few days. And again, it would say everybody will react differently depending on what your treatment is and all this kind of stuff. But for me, it was within the first few days. And I remember just like my head was just like there was almost like a void there of like where all the thoughts of food had been before. And I remember then thinking, is this some kind of placebo? Am I not thinking of food because I'm intentionally not trying to think of food? Am I not hungry because I'm intentionally trying not to be hungry? Or what's going on here? And this wrecked my head for a few days, trying to figure out, is this actually a reaction to something, or am I imagining this in my head? And then as kind of week 1, week 2...
Because we didn't have a name for it.
Yeah, exactly. And then the first time I heard somebody talk about food noise, I was like, what's this food noise? What? This radio in the back of my head has a name. It's Food Noise FM. Like, yeah, it just blew my mind.
Mad, isn't it?
That not everybody has this. Blew my mind. The same way though that not everybody has an internal dialogue.
But I have found that out as well pretty late in life. Not everybody talks about everything in their head.
Yes. Yeah. And this is the most comparable thing I can think of, is that there's some people that don't have that internal narrative going on in their head or whatever. And for me, it's like, wait a minute, you mean there's people that don't have this narrative going on in their head the whole time, or this kind of thing? So that's kind of the way I can think about it as well. But it just, when
was the moment that you knew it was gone, or that it wasn't there really?
When I was driving in my car, and I had a flapjack on the car seat beside me, and one, I could only manage a small mouthful of it, but then secondly, it wasn't constantly calling to me to eat it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It was like, there's flapjack on the passenger seat, what about it?
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh my God, there's a passenger, there's a flapjack there beside you, there's a flapjack.
Yeah. Get it.
What's it going to taste like?
Next red
Quick,
light.
you better eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Horse it into you.
Yeah.
You know?
And I sat with that for a little while this morning. I went on the Greenway for a walk, and then we went into the coach house down in Kilmacthomas for coffee, and I had put one of the mini protein bars in my jacket because I didn't really want to eat much this morning, and I forgot it was there. I got back into the car and thought, oh, that's just how did I live my life for 30 odd years? And come to this stage, you know.
Even an hour ago, I was down having a cup of coffee before I come up here to do the podcast, and I have a box of, they're like Turkish Delight thins, as in like they're kind of like after eights.
After eights, they're
nice. Like an after eight, except they've Turkish Delight in them. And I love Turkish Delight. Even still, I love Turkish Delight.
Very unusual for people to like that, I think. Ooh.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, my cousin Debbie loves it.
But like, the difference is now, I can have 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, those little tins, and close the lid and put it back.
Them in the cupboard.
Yeah. And I feel...
But people don't understand how we couldn't do that.
I know.
Normies don't understand that.
I would have kept going because it was there, and because my body's like, no, You need the food. Get the food. You need it. It's there. It's in front of you. Why aren't you finishing? What's wrong with you? Like, it's such a foreign concept.
Yeah, and it was a thing of keep going back to it. Never actually taking the box and sitting down with the box, because then you would be seen to be eating a box. It would be putting it back in the cupboard, 2 minutes later, opening the cupboard, taking 2 or 3 more, stuffing them in your face, leaving, never taking out the box. Yeah. And eating in secrecy and stuff like that as well.
But anyway, food noise. It is a fascinating topic. It is something that, as I say...
What's it comparable to, do you think, in life? Other people that would suffer from that kind of noise?
I think, imagine something bad has happened and you keep going over it in your head.
Yeah.
And you're constantly mulling over something in your head. Imagine that 24/7, except about food.
Yeah.
Or if you're someone that, you know, always thinks worst case scenario or something like that. Yeah. Or
but also somebody that gambles, or that's addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
Or that drinks alcohol.
There is a bit in the podcast with Oprah where they specifically talk about addictions and the kind of effect of treatment on people that have food noise and stuff like that, and some of the similarities and also some of the differences. So again, highly recommend that Oprah podcast.
Huge topic.
It's really, really interesting. I say it's with an endocrinologist as well. So somebody
she's
that
good.
is,
she's great.
Yeah, she's like deeply, heavily invested in obesity and obesity care and that, and understanding the treatments and stuff like that. So definitely, it's something that I would encourage you to go and check out if you haven't. Anyone that's listening.
So when I was in OA, which is Overeaters Anonymous, similar to AA and all the other ones as well. GA, Gamblers Anonymous, and NA, Narcotics Anonymous. Yeah. So we would have read from the same big book. Yeah. We had the concept was exactly the same thing. But we were encouraged to probably stay away from our trigger foods. And I had them. And I know I found out very quickly what they were. Yeah. But it was trying to stay away from them mindfully and thinking about the damage that they can do to you, and thinking about the future and how good a future you would have if you didn't have those trigger foods in your life. And you know, I lost weight. I went there and I lost weight, and I traveled miles to these groups. Yeah. And I had a sponsor, the same as you would in AA. I had all the literature. And it was good. It was good. Just in the end, I just found it wasn't for me. It got a bit deep. Yeah. And stuff like that. But I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. But they think along the same lines as well, you know. And it's and I think this thing, like I did a video the other day because I got a message on TikTok from a man called Thomas, and I thought it was a really interesting one. So I did a video that was somewhat unpopular a few months ago about and hear me out now before I do it, should everybody who is overweight automatically have a given right to get a medication, like to help them lose that weight? And my initial thought was, well, actually, before we jump straight to a medication, show me where there has been an attempt for lifestyle changes and nutritional changes beforehand. So, and that for me is the difference. And what I mean by that is that can be the difference between somebody that has put a stone on holidays versus somebody that has relapsed time and time again. And that's the differentiating thing that I'm getting at there. Absolutely. The relapse part.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if somebody has lived with obesity and constantly had challenges with their weight, you want them to have whatever support it is that is needed for them to help them improve their life. But this is what I was saying. I wouldn't necessarily do a blanket yes. If somebody has excess weight, they should automatically be given a medication, because that might not be the right thing for somebody if it hasn't been a chronic disease for them. you know? In the same way, you're not going to give somebody who isn't diabetic insulin just because their sugar levels are out because they've just eaten a whole box of chocolate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing I was trying to say. But anyway, the message from Tommy, Tommy, was lost 9 stone 2020, regained 9 plus 1, so 10 up in 2025. Unsure about the jabs, so I don't actually crave food. I go until 7 or 8 until I feel sick and then binge on the wrong stuff. And this is where my reply was, well, actually, do you know what? Maybe your first port of call there is, let's see about a counsellor or therapist that specialises in disordered eating and maybe with binge eating. And that could be the right treatment for somebody. You know, that if that's the problem, like there's somebody saying,
it doesn't necessarily have to go straight to medication.
No. But like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, not everybody might have food noise
or the disease of obesity.
Exactly. Yeah. Just because they have some extra weight on them. Yeah. And this where
other things can help.
It is so complex. Complex. The kind of the reasoning behind our bodies, our weight, how we think about it, how we think of ourselves, which is a constant work in progress. But again, that's why you engage with a qualified professional. That's why you talk to a doctor, or, you know, if your doctor maybe doesn't seem as informed as some other ones, go to another doctor or go to someone that specialises in this, that they can maybe offer you some additional support, you know, stuff like that. That's my thoughts.
That's all you have to say about that, Paddy?
That's all I have to say about that.
Well, I think you've said enough, actually.
All right, okay, sorry. Like we are 30 minutes in, so fair enough.
Oh yeah. So what else had we on the list? I lost the list. I had all the things that we were going to talk about. I had Belinda, it all written down, and the dog ate it. The dog ate your homework, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, like that's not like you, Belinda, to rock up and be like,
I know.
You're like a right.
So what's happening?
Yeah, you're like a right wee diva. You're like the JLo of podcasting. You just rock up and are like, what am I doing?
Expecting everyone else to do the work.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm aware, Paddy. I'm aware. Yeah. That's why I call you my boss.
Yeah. So the other thing, now this is like literally hot off the press, like so hot off the press that I have not even got to fully assess this yet myself. Okay, so
you've not had time to process it, Paddy.
I haven't. Yeah. But so back in end of September, I went for a DEXA scan. So a DEXA scan is one of the most accurate ways to get an idea of your body composition, i.e.
I thought you were going to talk about something completely different.
This is why we need a running order. Now I'm fascinated what you thought I was going to talk about.
No. That'd be too bold.
No, you are being bold.
Edit. I know, I'm sorry. Edit, yeah.
But no, so I had my DEXA scan and got the results of my DEXA scan today again. So it's 4 months between the two scans. Obviously, in that 4 months, I have been doing my strength training. So I was curious to see what is the difference going to be, if any, in and
what's the difference in your weight loss then in those 4 months?
So the difference in the 4 months is, hang on there now, I can tell you. I've been trying to do some quick analysis on this kind of
fucking spreadsheet again, aren't you?
Total weight loss is 16.4 kilograms.
Since 4 months ago?
Exactly 4 months.
Oh, right. Okay. So nobody knows what that means. What's that mean in old money?
The doctors do. Because remember last week we were saying they work in. They work in. So that is equals to 2 stone 6 pounds, roughly.
Right.
2 stone 5, something like that, is what that kind of equates to. Or if you are in old money and you want to go pounds, you're talking about 36 pounds. So so about 36 pounds difference in weight. Yeah, it is. Yeah, substantial. Now I had no idea, I had no idea how long to wait or how soon would be too soon or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what I did was when I got my DEXA scan, And basically, I've asked ChatGPT to help me. I've loaded in the first PDF and now the PDF from today. And I've also asked it to reference the Surmount 1 trial. So that is one of the big trials. So the Surmount 1 trial is one of the main kind of clinical trials about GLP1 medications and the impact of them and stuff like this. So what it basically has told me is... my total weight loss during these 4 months is comparable but slightly faster than the average pace of the trial. So, and that doesn't surprise me because I know my initial months were definitely faster, if you get me. And this is where it would have been really interesting if I had got this done. If I had got this done at the start of my kind of weight loss journey. But anyway, in relation to my fat mass reductions, so specifically fat mass, it's saying on par with the trial, showing that most of your weight loss is coming from fat.
Excellent.
Is what it's saying. Yeah.
This is what you wanted to hear, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of hoping. If I'm honest, I was kind of hoping that my lean mass would have been better than the trials. So what I mean by that is they were saying that the trials showed up to about maybe, well, again, this is where you look, but particularly in relation to Surmount 1, it says that the about 25% of weight loss was coming from muscle. Or sorry, not muscle, lean mass. So that could be your muscle, your bones,
that was
water,
within the
stuff
trial
like that.
now.
Yes. Yeah. So within the trials of GLP-1 medications, they're saying that out of the weight people lost, that about up to 25% of that in and around was going to be lean mass that was lost. Okay? My results are exactly in line with that.
Okay. And you wanted to...
I was hoping that it was going to be better than that.
Okay.
Because I am doing my strength training. I try and prioritize my protein coming in. So I was hoping that my lean mass loss in those 4 months would have been lesser than like the 25%.
Because you were gaining lean muscle.
Yes. That was the plan. That was the hope.
That's what you were working towards.
Yeah. So like, to be honest, it kind of tells me that my body is definitely getting healthier. It's telling me parts of my body where I've lost more weight or where I've built more muscle and stuff like that. But overall, what it's kind of telling me is that my results are kind of in line with what the clinical trial saw. And I'm a little bit
defy it.
I'm a little bit disappointed with that because I have been doing my strength training.
Yeah.
But look,
was the trial with people that weren't doing strength training or something?
Oh God, I off the top of my head, I need to look at it again. I can't remember exactly what exact training they were doing. But yeah, so we'll see. But I think, look at, again, as we've spoke about before, this is a data point for me. It's where I go and look at.
It's just information, isn't it?
Yeah, it's information, exactly.
Yeah.
It's information. Yeah. And the thing is...
It's the same with the scales as well, like.
Yeah, and like I'm very aware that the type of training I've been doing is traditional strength training. So it is. There is another type of training which is called hypertrophy training, and that is focused specifically on trying to build muscle, essentially.
Oh, right, okay.
So what this is indicating to me is, okay, do you know what, I'm going to work with my coach now and be like, let's maybe mix this up a little bit and let's incorporate more of that hypertrophy, more of that specifically muscle building type of training in what I'm doing.
Are you going to invest in another DEXA scan maybe in 6 months' time?
Oh, God, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Again, your one regret was not
getting at the start.
Yeah,
the very start.
Yeah. I have a lot of regrets from when I started. A lot. Yeah. Like not taking all the pictures,
That's
and all the measurements.
It's one of the things. Thank God.
You did though. You did. Yeah.
I did. So
I've got
do.
one. I've got one, but there's a huge, vast difference, and I'm in my underwear taking it, and it's going to take a lot for me to ever publish them.
Yeah, fair, and that's fair.
Yeah.
And look, nothing says you ever do have to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like as much as we do stuff.
If I go on Oprah, obviously I will.
Yeah, totally. If they fly, I'm thinking Calendar Girl.
Oh my God, Paddy.
Calendar Girls. Do you ever see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. How
great.
Like
Yeah.
Calendar. We'll do a Mounjaro calendar.
But I think that. Yeah, I think basically it's just now up to me to be like, okay, what do I want to, as I go into this next phase, like there's so many things in my head now in terms of, right, what do I want to tweak and lock in even more? So things like, let's look at my nutrition again. Let's look at my training. Is there other data points there that I can try to focus on as well? But then also even things like, how is my sleep? I know my sleep is drastically better than it was.
Same.
Drastically better.
Oh my God. And especially since I give up alcohol. Oh my God, my sleep is amazing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, super, super good.
Yeah. So I definitely think...
starting mouth taping tomorrow. I'll let you know how that goes.
Like during the day? During the day so that people don't have to listen to you?
Fuck you, Paddy. Fuck you.
I'll donate to charity for that.
Sean's on
like the sponsored silence when we were younger. Do you remember the sponsored silences?
Yeah. I never.
And then you'd go into your room by yourself and talk to yourself so you could break it.
God, I never shut up. I still don't shut up.
Yeah, but what
anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
No. But I think that's going to be fascinating. I could never do that. I'd find that too restrictive.
Oh, you couldn't anyway with your wonky septum.
Yeah, I couldn't. That sounds like a Harry Potter spell. The wonky septum. Wonky septum.
What we will say though is definitely think about listening to last week's podcast. It's on Paddy having his last jab of Mounjaro before his operation, and also going forward on Paddy's Instagram, he will be updating everybody on how he's getting along. And I think next week we will have a podcast out next week, Paddy.
We will have a podcast next week, yes.
Yeah, but maybe not the week after. Paddy has taken some paid holiday from the podcast, the dose.
But Shakira, you know how to set up the podcast and do it all now. Could you know?
I'm using the same link you sent me 2 months ago, Paddy. Could you? I type in Riverside and then click on a link and I'm there. That's all I know.
Gas, absolutely gas.
Yeah.
Riverside is one of the platforms we use, folks, for recording the podcast. But one thing what we were saying there though is if you're starting out on a journey, or if you're on one you haven't done already, those kind of data points off your photos or off your, even if it's just for your eyes, or your spreadsheets like me. I love my spreadsheets.
Yeah, I
love my spreadsheets. I love them. But like I've got all my measurements in there, I've got all my weights in there, everything. Since day one. But and I'm so glad I did. I said the only thing is I wish I got the DEXA. Now obviously a DEXA is quite difficult to get privately in Ireland. I only found 1 or 2 places that will do it. But usually you would get referred to a DEXA for like checking bone health or like osteoporosis or stuff like that from a doctor.
Yeah, it's usually older people.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. But there are some places around the country that you can do it privately if you pay for it. But again, you don't need to. It's just that I'm a nerd and I just love to know the numbers.
You just love information.
Yeah, I just love information. Like to help keep me informed with stuff.
Yeah.
But and what I was going to say.
Well, sorry, go on.
What I was going to say to you, Belinda, though, like with the picture you're talking about from the start, I think it's important to remember that, like, as much as we put content out there, you're still Belinda, a private individual that shouldn't feel under pressure to have to put things out there for other people. You're allowed your own journey as well for you. Do you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever publish them.
Yeah.
It's just for me to see how far I've come, you know?
Exactly.
But I will say that, and I talk about this quite a bit as well, is even if you don't get to measure your whole body or you can't be bothered with the photographs, measure your belly. around where your belly button is, all the way around, because the visceral fat around your belly and around your actual organs is a massive, massive health marker, because the more visceral fat you lose, the healthier your organs are becoming, and it's super important.
It's it is, particularly that visceral fat.
It really is, and in the sense of health, you know, not just weight or weight loss or looking better, but in the sense of your health.
Like, I don't know how clear this is going to come through on the camera for you, but basically, after the DEXA scan, you get an image that shows you where your kind of body mass is and bits and pieces.
Have you got side by sides from the first and second one?
I don't know how clear it's going to come through. But
oh yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot, Paddy.
Apologies if you are somebody that is listening to this and you're like, what are they looking at?
Wow, look at your arms.
Yeah, essentially, like it's color coded. Yeah, it's color coded, and it kind of shows you bone, lean, fat.
Now you're really regretting not having this done from the start. Yeah. That's a good visual.
It is, but like,
are you going to put that up on Instagram?
Yeah, I'll put it in a reel, so I will, and put it together. But like, particularly like that kind of mid section, like my trunk kind of area, I can notice big changes. Up around my chest, I can notice it. I think even the fact, if you look at like my bones that are coming through, like you can see the bones
more
even
of your bones because they're not covered in fat. Yeah. Like
it's just
that's mad.
It is fascinating to see.
Keep going.
Yeah, so it's an interesting one to kind of see. But the other thing is,
have you thought any more about your goal weight or your goal size or
no, I haven't. No, I haven't. But the other thing is, when I lost weight before, the one time when I lost a considerable amount of weight, and in my lower chest there, you have your xiphoid bone, is it, I think you call it xiphoid bone, which is kind of like in the middle of your chest at the very bottom, between your kind of two sides. Yeah, kind of in the middle there.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling this in my chest and being like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? What is that? What is this?
Lost so much fat, you didn't know what it was.
I didn't know what this thing was. And I had to find out, it's just a bone. Like, seriously, I'm sure it's called xiphoid, or else I've totally just.
No. I think everyone knows what you're talking about. Like, Paddy, I can't hardly go on my hips when I'm in Pilates now because I haven't got as much fat on my hips anymore. Yeah. They hurt me more.
Yeah, the xiphoid process, that's what it's called, is the lowest part of your sternum, the distal end.
Got it.
It's the pointed bottom of the sternum that's in the center of your chest, where your rib cage connects to your sternum, right above your diaphragm. Now, beneath this is, should you be able to feel it? It's not unusual to feel a lump in the xiphoid process. If a person can feel a lump, it usually means there has become inflamed. Well, it's not. It's bone like that I'm feeling, if you get me.
Yeah.
But it is just fascinating that, again, they're like maybe... I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I was like, oh, I can feel it again. Well, I can feel it. But even being able to feel the bottom of my ribs.
Yeah. I could feel my hip bones there a couple of months ago. I was delighted as well.
It's mad.
And by the time we record next Monday for next week's podcast, I'll have my...
No?
Yeah, I'm getting it done this Friday, Paddy. I'm shitting myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
So
what are you expecting?
I have no idea. I haven't weighed myself since.
Okay.
6 weeks ago since I weighed myself at the gym, and my 6 weeks trial, I think, is over. Obviously, I'm keeping going, but I have to get the results of that. I don't know. If I didn't lose any weight, that's fine too. You know, I stalled for 6 months at one point, so.
So real talk, I guess. Do you feel you have put in the honest effort that you would be hoping to see results?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I didn't, I would say.
No, I know you would.
I would have said, nah, fucking hell, I winged 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah.
No, that's good.
I think I missed one gym session.
How have you found the training sessions? Because obviously there are different to what you were doing before?
I just love him.
Yeah.
I just love him. I love it. Like, I love it. I put it on my stories today saying, you know, I can't believe how much I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what was your work? What was your workout today or yesterday?
I did, what did I do? I don't know any of the names of them.
That's okay, just describe them because that's more entertaining for me.
Screw you, Paddy. I'm not here for entertainment. Certainly not yours.
Oh god.
No, I did a lot. I do as of 2 weeks ago I started tracking my weight.
Yeah.
Of what I'm lifting and stuff.
Yes.
I did do the dumbbell, not the barbell.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the big long one is the barbell.
Bar.
Yeah.
That's the barbell. Yeah.
That's the barbell.
That's 20 kg.
It is. Oh, it is, yeah.
I did. Yeah, and I did it last week, and you had to touch your bottom off of the ball when you're doing your squats. And shut up. And it hurt my back a little bit.
Is this some dodgy nightclub?
No. Exactly.
So you had a ball behind you and you had the barbell on you and you had to sit down and stand back up again?
Yeah. Okay. So that hurt my back.
Okay.
So we moved down, that was 20 kg, we moved down to a 10 kg and I stayed at 10 kg today as well. So, yeah.
And have you ever had any like back injury before?
I've had one operation on my back and I'm going for another one soon. So, yeah. So that's why I like this gym, because of the PT aspect of it.
Yeah.
And he knows everything and he's constantly watching me, and every single day when I go in there 3 or 4 times a week he's saying, how's your back today?
Yeah.
You know, because I think he's concerned how my previous
100%
training session, I'm so far away from the mic, previous thing you would have went, but yeah, it's all good, like, it's grand, you know. I never thought I'd be in there. I never thought I'd be doing it after, especially after coming up the back of 3 years on crutches and morphine and just in a hole. Yeah, like my mental health was just chronic, Paddy.
Yeah. And so. Like, it's so common for people that have excess weight to back pain is like one of the most common for various reasons, you know, depending on where you carry your weight
pressure,
as well.
Like the pressure on your poor back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So you're starting your mouth taping tomorrow? Tomorrow?
Yeah, my Pilates instructor is giving... Oh my God, I still have to do a podcast with her, don't I? She's laughing at me still. My Pilates instructor is giving me some to try out before I invest in them. She's giving me the really good ones.
Okay.
Yeah. This one has got a little tiny hole in the middle of it. Like, I'm such a fucking mouth breather. I wake up in the middle of the night and my mouth is dry. So...
Yeah.
And I have a sleep mask now, and I'll have tape.
Why? I want you to wear both of those in the gym when you're doing your like squatting down to the ball. It's going to look like some fucking medieval show.
Yeah, and the rest. Shut up.
Oh God, where's Jamie Dornan?
Yeah. Stop.
50 Shades of Workout.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway,
God.
Paddy, I have to be on my way now because I have a lovely roast beef dinner waiting for me. It's actually on the table, and the knife and fork and a glass of lemon whatever he's after doing for me. And loads of horseradish sauce.
I don't like horseradish. No, I don't like. I can't even pronounce it. I don't like that. No.
I love it.
It's too peppery.
Yes.
Is there roast potatoes?
Yeah, his roast potatoes. He makes them from scratch. Like, I know.
Oh, I'd love some roast potatoes now.
Yeah.
I fucking love roast potatoes. Well, Belinda, look, it has been a pleasure.
It's been... See you in the next cartoon, mate.
I'm going to spend the next 4 days editing this to make it.
I know. I'm sauce. Sorry.
That's all right. That's okay. And next week we will have further chats and bants, and we can talk about maybe check in on how my first because obviously I took my last bit of my treatment last week, which you do me for a week. So really, it's going to be towards the end of this week when I start.
So when we record on Monday, you'll know.
Yeah. So I was wrong actually, because I said initially that I'd know probably the day off the treatment or the day of the surgery. That's wrong. The surgery's next week. I don't know where I'm thinking.
You'll know way before that.
Yeah, no. I'll know the end of this week how I'm kind of feeling. So
and into Monday, then we could have a chat about it. Yeah.
Yeah, can have
and you'll be 4 days Oh yeah, are we
In
off
Ireland.
on the bank holiday?
It's,
We're
well,
not.
it's a bank
Me and you,
holiday.
the dose.
No,
we don't
me
get
and you,
paid
no,
bank
no,
holiday.
no. We don't get bank
No.
holidays off.
No, we don't get bank holidays off. They won't pay us, sure.
Need to get on to WRC with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, Belinda, you go and enjoy your roast dinner. It's been a pleasure and enlightening as always. And
been emotional.
thank you for, well, that is definitely one word. You've brought
Yep.
many emotions to me over the past hour. Oh, God. I need to get some music again for the end. Oh, God.
Play us out, Paddy. Play
Play
us out.
us out. It's like a roll it there, Roisin. Oh,
Roll it there,
God.
Colette. Wasn't that the other one?
Well, yeah, wasn't it Roisin beforehand? I think.
I think
Was
so.
it Roisin? Yeah, back in the day. Okay. From myself, Paddy, and from
And
you,
Belinda.
Belinda. Adios, amigos.
None of this conversation should be taken as medical advice for you. Before starting or changing any medical or wellness treatment, always consult your GP and medical care team.